we'll see. Is everybody ready to go? Let's proclaim the greatest radio show.
Welcome, Bucko fans, to an exciting episode of The Spread. I'm your host, Jim Sella, in studio with J Dash and Big Easy. You guys are fired up. Bucko's back in the playoffs.
Third straight year, I'm excited for sure. But I'm nervous,
You sound
too.
so excited.
The wildcard game's nervous, man. Nerve-wracking.
I bet. Good thing I'm not a Pirate fan.
But yes, this is a preview of the NL wildcard. Chicago Cubs at Pittsburgh Pirates. The winner goes on to face the St. Louis Cardinals, obviously, who won 100 games even this season. The Pirates, they went 98-64, ended up 2 games behind the Cardinals for the best record in baseball, and they're a great home team. So this is a big advantage for them to play at home in this game, in my opinion. Easy, his opinion differs a little bit, but they went 53-28 at home, while the Cubs just 1 game behind the Pirates by season's end at 97-65, and they ended up forcing the Pirates to win that final game against the Reds, which they did end up doing. And you remember they had that little box at the top right corner of the TV where it said the Cubs score, and they scored 3 runs in the first inning. So they put some pressure on the Pirates here at the end of the season.
Yeah, they didn't stop.
Please believe.
Don't stop.
I don't know if it's a... I kind of agree with Easy, I think, on this one. There's so much pressure on the Pirates after they're... they won it the first year, they lost it the second year. I think Pirate fans are putting a little bit more pressure than is really due for the Buccos. So I think being out of town might have actually helped them a little bit. Not that I think this hurts them, but I just think that if they were out of town, it might have taken a little bit of pressure off the Pirates and put it more onto the Cubs.
Not even pressure, but maybe just change the focus and the mentality of their approach to the game completely.
See, the way I see it is...
It didn't work last year.
The Pittsburgh Pirates, it's a lot better they play at home here. First of all, they got the great home record. But also, PNC is a pitcher's ballpark, and that's what we need. I mean, our team, our offense is built around speed, where we hit the gaps and we hit doubles and triples, you know what I mean? Whereas the Cubs, their team's built around power, so that's a disadvantage at PNC. And plus, if they were playing at home, I mean, that's a hitter's ballpark, and they hit the ball out of the ballpark, and that would be tougher for the Pirates because they're not a big home run team.
I think in a series, that would matter more than it does in a 1-game playoff. But with Cole and Arrieta going against each other, neither team should really be hitting the ball at all, honestly. This should be 3 hits to 1 hit, and somebody luckily squeezes a sac bunt in or something.
Well, it's going to be a game that you're not going to be able to make errors in, obviously.
I mean, Cole just don't give up the home run.
I don't know.
Cole and Arrieta, they don't give up many, but it may turn out where a bloop and a blast is what decides this game. And if you're playing in
Hey, your boy
Chicago,
Pedro should be able to blast it if it's hitter-friendly.
Well, it depends on how he does against Arrieta. He is 1 for 9 against Arrieta this season. But the fact that it is in Pittsburgh, I mean, it's an advantage for Pittsburgh in my opinion, but the Cubs are a good road team. They're 48-33 this season, so it's not like them going on the road is huge for them in any way. But like I said, they have one of the worst batting averages in the National League. It was worse than the National League at one point, actually, not long ago. It still might be. I haven't looked in a while. But the fact that them playing in Pittsburgh, it's going to be a lot harder for them to score because it's going to be harder for them to hit the home runs.
How good of a manager is Joe Madden?
Seems like a great manager to me, but they put a lot of talent around him, too.
A lot of young talent, though, and he got them all staying focused and playing well.
He's a douchebag.
I like him.
Hey, now.
You like
Did you see his RV?
Well, did you see his comment after Gunn got hurt? He blamed it on plantar fasciitis.
Oh, no, I wasn't talking about that. This dude has an RV that he travels around in. It's called the Cousin Eddie because he loves National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. So he's good in my book.
But look, the Cubs ended the season on an 8-game win streak, too. So they're playing great baseball right now, including they won their final 6 games on the road. And granted, it was at Cincinnati and at Milwaukee. And
the Pirates can't win at Milwaukee.
Okay, but that has nothing to do with this series, is what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, you're acting like it's an easy win for the Cubs to go to Milwaukee and win. It's not that easy. The Pirates can't do it.
But you're looking at it wrong. Some teams play bad against some teams, while the Cubs, they play bad against other teams. It's not necessarily Milwaukee and Cincinnati they play bad against. I mean, you look at it that way, the Pirates, why would they be in the playoffs if they can't beat Milwaukee? Because then they should beat no team whatsoever.
I just don't think it's as easy as you make it sound to just go in there and win.
Well, I'm just saying it's bad teams. They did go in and win 6 road games. That's not easy no matter who you're playing. But if they would have went in and won at the Los Angeles Dodgers and at the New York Mets, then that means more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I dig it.
But the Pirates, they scored the 4th most runs in the NL with 697. And that's the most runs scored by any playoff team in the National League. So just going by runs scored this season, the Pittsburgh Pirates have the best offense in those terms, while the Cubs, they've scored the 6th most runs in the NL with 689, and that's the 2nd in the playoffs. So these are really the best 2 offenses in the National League playoffs, if you ask me. And in fact, no matter which team goes on here, I think they have a big advantage over St. Louis offensively, because I think the St. Louis Cardinals have the worst offense in the playoffs in the National League.
Cards.
Well, but we did lead the league in errors also, so we're obviously the National League team, playoff team that leads in errors.
Yeah, you lead in errors, but look, you're also let up the 3rd least runs allowed in the National League with 596. So while they have the most errors, it doesn't equate the runs necessarily, because the only teams better than them in the National League this season in terms of runs allowed are the St. Louis Cardinals and the Los Angeles Dodgers. And yeah, that's the one advantage the Cardinals do have over the Cubs and the Pirates, no matter which one makes it to the next series, is that pitching staff. Although Michael Wacha, he's not pitching very well right now. He's actually pitching like crap. Carlos Martinez, one of their better pitchers this season, he's done, so he's not going to be pitching. There's John Lackey, Lance Lynn, Jaime Garcia. Those 3 will be pitching in the playoffs, along with Michael Wacha, and they're going to have to hope he turns it around.
Mm-hmm.
But the Cubs, they let up the 4th least runs allowed in the NL too, so it's not like they're a bad pitching staff. That's what I've been saying all season long. Yeah, they may be young offensively, but this pitching staff isn't 5 rookies out there just throwing the ball. I mean, these are solid veterans. Jake Arrieta, obviously a Cy Young candidate, probably will win the Cy Young. And John Lester, a guy with a lot of playoff experience. But the Cubs, they won the season series against the Pirates 11-8, and they won 6 of 10 games in PNC Park. So there's your little advantage you're talking about. It's not there in terms of this season. And I mean, it's hard to have an advantage when Jake Arrieta's on the mound too. Look at this guy, 22-6 this season, a 1.77 ERA, an 0.86 WHIP. In 229 innings pitched, he has 236 Ks compared to just 48 walks and allowed just 10 home runs. People are hitting 185 off of him this season. This dude is beast mode, and his ERA is even better against the Pirates, 0.75 in 5 starts.
Well, didn't he have an 0.75 ERA after the break?
Something like that. He's 3-1 against the Pirates this season, and the Cubs actually won 17 of his last 18 starts. And like you said, since the All-Star break, I mean, he's pretty much been unhittable. But I will say this, that one start out of those 18 starts that he didn't get to win versus your very own Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, because he flopped the ball over the dude's head at first base.
Hey, you never know, man. Anything could happen. But look, in that span, he is 11-0, allowed 4 earned runs in 88 1/3 innings, 12 starts. That is dominant. 89 Ks, 14 walks, 41 hits in that span. 41 hits in 88 1/3 innings pitched. That's less than a hit every 2 innings. That's ridiculous. And look, it is 3 starts versus Pittsburgh. He's 2-0 in 22 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 9 hits, 4 walks, and 19 Ks. He had an unearned run.
So who are you starting at first base against Arrieta?
Pedro Alvarez.
Ramirez, Pedro.
Well, Ramirez hasn't been playing first base since Jung Ho went down. They haven't even been playing him there. It's either been Pedro Alvarez or Michael Morse. So there's no way they're going to go into this game, at least I'd think, and put Aramis Ramirez there right now. I mean, it's been weeks since he's played there. So it's either got to be Michael Morse or Pedro Alvarez. And Pedro Alvarez is going to start this game. I'd have to believe so. But if I look at the lineup, I'd think it would be Gregory Polanco, Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Aramis cleaning up. With Neil Walker batting 5th, do you think that would happen? I think that would be your best option. Francisco Cervelli, 6, Pedro Alvarez, 7, Jordy Mercer, 8, and Cole, 9. Is that the way you'd go with it, or would you put Pedro ahead of Cervelli? See, if this was the St. Louis Cardinals series, I would say bat Pedro Alvarez 5th, because they don't even want to pitch to that guy. That's a free guy on base, and then put Cervelli behind him, a guy who can hit over 300, and I think you'd be scoring runs that way. But the fact that it's against Arrieta, I mean, Pedro is just 1 for 9 against him. He does have 2 walks, though, and only K'd 3 times. That's not terrible. So
as long as Mercer's batting 8th, I like the lineup. No, I'm kidding. No, that's fine. Like you said, if it was a Cardinal series, it'd be different. But
what about...
Maybe you can sneak in a home run late.
What about Josh Harrison? Would you think of trying to find a way to get him in the lineup? Would you even consider sending Aramis Ramirez for Josh Harrison? I mean, Josh Harrison's been hitting the ball pretty well recently, and he's been a spark plug the past couple weeks in the lineup, and it sucks to sit him, but if someone would get injured, it'd be nice because you could just bring him in almost anywhere and just switch up the lineup. But it'd be nice to start him, too. Bat him second, maybe Marte fourth.
Yeah. I don't see it, though. I don't see it happening.
I don't see it happening either. And one other option is, like you said, Ramirez at first base and sit Pedro, Jim. But like I said, Ramirez hasn't played first base. Yeah, I didn't know they haven't
been playing him over there.
I mean,
for the last few
it would
weeks.
be so much better if Jung-Ho Gung was in his lineup, wouldn't it? Instead of Mercer.
Well, of course.
But
yeah,
at least offensively, not necessarily defensively.
Yeah, but you think Hurdle would even put him in the lineup, though?
Jung-Ho?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be batting fourth.
Yeah, right.
Jung-Ho bombs all day.
He'd have Mercer in there for his defense.
I mean, it is possible, man, because this should be a low-scoring game.
Hurdle's crazy.
I know you don't like his decisions, but you really think he'd sit Jung-Ho Gung in this game? I think he'd be batting him.
I wouldn't say he was a pure starter.
See, I can't see it, man. Jung-Ho Gung was our best hitter when he was healthy, pretty much.
Oh,
outside
well,
of Andrew
I'm not
McCutchen.
saying he shouldn't be playing. I'm saying he'd be my starting shortstop, and Hurdle disagrees with you.
Yeah, he's in love with Mercer.
See, now, if Gung was healthy, there's the possibility Ramirez would be playing first base, Gung would be at third base, and Mercer would just be at shortstop.
Yeah, because he hates Pedro more than he hates Mercer. That's what the lineup would look like.
But look, you see these numbers right here next to these names? That's what they batted against Jake Arrieta this season. Andrew McCutchen, 4 for 12 with a double, an RBI, 2 walks, and 6 Ks. Not bad. Everyone else here, man, they kind of struggled against Arrieta. I mean, Polanco has 3 hits. Walker has 3 hits with a double. They don't get much done against them. That's why they may need that bloop and a blast, and they'll need Garrett Cole to match Arrieta in this game.
They need Kutch to step up and play like the superstar that he is in the playoffs for once.
Yeah, he struggled. Well, I wouldn't say struggled mightily recently, but he hasn't been himself recently, and he does need to turn it around, and he needs to lead this offense in this game because, like I said, the rest of these guys haven't hit Arrieta very well. And
no home runs or RBIs. No home runs or RBIs from McCutchen in the playoffs, and that doesn't mean he's playing terrible. He's a superstar. He's the catalyst of this lineup. It'd be nice to get a big game out of him.
Yeah, it would be. I mean, it's only 7 games we're seeing him, though. I mean, it's
right.
7 games.
I'm not tearing him down.
Right.
Just saying he needs to. Let's get it started now. Let's make this the first game where he really breaks out in the playoffs.
Will Jeff Decker get an appearance in this wild card game?
I mean, it's possible because you look. I don't think Josh Harrison would be the first pinch hitter. I'm just talking pinch hitting. Let's say.
Yeah, of course. I'm not. I'm just saying. If Jeff Decker gets an appearance in this wild card game, then Hurdle has gone mad.
Well, who else is there to pinch hit at this point? Who would you pinch hit? I mean,
Corey Hart.
Get out of here with Corey Hart.
But you got all these clowns. You got Snyder. You got Snyder back. You got Morris on there.
Yeah, if it's a righty, I'd bat Snyder.
Jeff Decker, Floormon's in there.
Dude, Jeff Decker is an on-base machine, really. And if he had playing time, I'm not saying he had to hit a ton of home runs and drive in RBIs. He might score some runs and get on base for you, though. He is an on-base machine. But look, I wouldn't bat Josh Harrison as my first pinch hitter because if you need him later in the game to come in and play a few innings somewhere, you want to have him there. And if you use him as a pinch hitter, you can't do that.
You're pinch hitting if there's going to be any pinch hitting, it's going to be way after the 6th inning.
Well, let's hope so. You never know what's going to happen, man. Actually, in this game,
we're going to slide into we're going to slide into.
You don't have to set your playoff roster for the entire playoffs in this game, so you can take 2 starting pitchers in case like Cole gets hurt. You bring Liriano. You know what I mean? But then you don't have to bring any other starting pitchers for this game, and you can bring extra bats or extra bullpen pieces.
Well,
so Keon Broxton might get in there for a pinch running.
That's who I forgot about. Keon.
But look, they need to Speaking of Keon Broxton, they need to run in this game if they are able to get on base. Look, Polanco, 3 hits in 16 at-bats versus Arrieta this season, but he did steal 3 bases. They need to be stealing bases when they get on. So if it does happen where they can only come up with 2 singles, maybe it's a single, a stolen base, and then another single to score a run, and you win that game 1-0 or something. You know what I mean?
Got to get on base and steal. There's no doubt about it. And
The Cubs are going to be running I don't want to say all over, but they're going to try to run a lot because they think that they can really take advantage of the Pirates in that aspect.
Well, it depends who it is. They've been batting Kyle Schwarber second a lot, and if that guy's on base in front of these guys, they shouldn't be running very much because Kyle Schwarber is very slow. Now, he did try to steal when Cole was pitching once this season, and he got caught stealing. And there's a couple guys that got caught when Cole's pitching. That's another thing about Cole. He's the one guy that can hold guys on a little bit better than the rest of this rotation. Speaking of Cole having to match Arrieta, he's 19-8 this season, a 2.60 ERA, a 109 WHIP, and 208 innings pitched, 202 Ks compared to 44 walks, just 11 home runs. Opponents hitting just 239 off of him. Against the Cubs, 4 starts, he's 2-1 with a 2.13 ERA. He's going to be coming off more than 5 days rest, actually, though, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Guys like to go on a steady basis, you know what I mean? So an extra day's rest could hurt, but it's better than something like the Houston Astros got where Dallas Keuchel is already pitching on short rest, which is ridiculous to me that they couldn't rest him for 5 days going into the playoffs. But they needed to win every game they could, obviously, down the stretch because they almost blew it. So I kind of see what they were thinking there. But the Pirates have actually won 7 of Cole's last 8 starts, so he's pitching very well as well. And if you look, here's my projected lineup for the Cubs. Now, there's a couple scenarios here. Dexter Fowler, he's going to lead off and play center field. Kyle Schwarber, he's been hitting second for them, playing right field. Chris Bryant at third base, hitting third. Anthony Rizzo cleaning up at first base. Starlin Castro has turned it around recently since they've taken him off to a shortstop and gave the starting job to Addison Russell. They moved Castro over to second base, and he's been playing there for a while, and he's been hitting a lot better recently. Miguel Montero batting 6th, playing catcher. Addison Russell, the shortstop, batting 7th. They bat their pitcher 8th, so Arrieta's probably going to be batting 8th in this game. And then Chris Coughlin batting 9th, playing left field.
That's that dude.
What, Chris Coughlin?
He's getting plugged with one.
Why plug him? Why not plug Anthony Rizzo?
Well, we already know who we're plugging.
Jake Arrieta.
Right in a rib cage.
You're ridiculous.
You hear me,
that.
Cole? You just go for it, brother. We got you.
But look, they could change this up a little bit, too. They could sit Coughlin, play Soler in right field, that young Cuban that was supposed to be a Rookie of the Year candidate this year. He's been injured a little bit, so it hasn't happened for him, but he is healthy right now, so they could play him in right, move Schwarber over to left field, and sit Coughlin, like I said, and I think that would make their offense a little better. Look, Soler has the highest upside. Coughlin had a better season, maybe, not necessarily, but he's been around all season and he's played well. Or they could play Tommy La Stella as well, play him at third base, put Chris Bryant in left field, and then sit Coughlin. But if you look, no matter how they do it, there's only one guy in this lineup that has an extra base hit off of Cole this season, and that is Tommy La Stella. He's 1 for 3 with a double and an RBI. Other than that, Cole has pretty much shut the Chicago Cubs down. No one has had an extra base hit off of them.
Nothing.
So which pitcher's going to hit the home run to win? Cole's going to hit a home run. Arrieta's going to hit a home run. It's going to go into extra innings, 1-1.
Yeah.
If Arrieta even hits the ball.
Arrieta does have a home run against the Pirates this year.
Yeah, I seen that and I laugh. Just, well, you know what? He's getting hit in the rib cage.
I don't want them to hit him in the rib cage.
Start Jeff Locke just so he could bean Arrieta and get him out of the game.
That plate, Arrieta.
Well, you want to start someone that has a good fastball. You use Jeff Locke, Arrieta will just trot down to first base.
Listen, on another quick note, Johnny Parlay sends me a link for Arrieta's Twitter, and I open it up and I just see a bunch of tweets, dude, of like Pirate fans just
hating, telling
him he's nothing.
Oh,
and then
man.
his tweet was something along the lines of, it's good to have hope, but it ain't gonna matter.
I don't know,
Just
man.
tearing it down.
I think Arrieta.
So thanks, Johnny. I needed to see that.
I think Arrieta. I mean, the Cubs have the advantage in this game with Arrieta. I mean, he's a Cy Young kid. He's probably going to win the Cy Young, and he's on a stretch right now that maybe no other pitcher in MLB history is on. I mean, 88 and a third innings pitched, 4 earned runs. That's hard to beat.
I don't think Arrieta's a better pitcher than Cole, but I think he's pitching better right now than Cole.
I mean, maybe not in the future. Maybe long-term Cole's better, but I mean, over the past 2 years, Arrieta has been better. Arrieta was actually a guy that stunk in Baltimore, and they had to get rid of him. And as soon as he came over to Chicago, he pitched well in a half a season. Then the next season, which was last season, he dominated. And this season, he's dominating even more.
Quick question before we get to the end of this segment. Can Arrieta kick for the Steelers while he's in Pittsburgh?
You're dead wrong.
Damn, we really need a kicker.
He has no experience kicking footballs.
But look, Anthony Rizzo is 4 for 10 off of Garrett Cole. He does have a stolen base, but he also got caught stealing. Like I said, all singles, obviously. But Rizzo, the leader of this offense, Andrew McCutchen, the leader of the Pirates offense, both of them hitting these pitchers somewhat well. Who's going to step up in this game, Rizzo or McCutchen? Easy.
McCutchen, he's due.
McCutchen.
He took that ball. Did you see him throw that ball into the river the other night?
No, I didn't.
Oh, man. There was a Red hit a home run, and the fan threw it back. He picked it up and just launched it into the river, dude. Just chucked it. And then when I seen that, I said, yeah, he's ready. He's ready, for sure.
That's pretty hilarious, actually.
Oh, it was good. No, it's going to be Kutch. Rizzo's garbage.
So which
Yeah,
offense?
which
Rizzo's
going to get caught with
better?
Rizzo's going to get caught with a 98 on the wrist. Someone.
Well, you want everybody to go down by hit by pitch.
One of them. Who has the better offense?
Yes.
From listening
Cubs.
to you for the last 20 minutes, us.
I mean, in terms of runs scored, yeah. And
I'm not thinking about who's pitching against us. Just who has a better offense.
Yeah,
we do.
Yeah, Arrieta I think has the advantage, but I think the Pirates offense has a little bit of
We have a
an
better
advantage.
chance of hitting Arrieta than they have a better chance of hitting Cole.
And like
is
I
what we're trying
said,
to say.
being that it's a home game, this ballpark plays to speed more than to power.
Okay, so game prediction.
2-1 Pirates.
I'll say 3-1 Pirates.
3-0 Cubs.
There it is. So 2-1 wins. Pirates win.
I just want to see him win because I think they can handle the Cardinals, and I would love this. That would make my year to just see him.
I don't
Take
necessarily
Cardinals
want to
later.
face the Mets, but I'd like to see the Mets beat the Dodgers too. So if it does happen where the Pirates can move on, they'd face the Mets and wouldn't have to face Greinke and Kershaw 4 times in one
Aren't
series.
one of those
Yes,
guys
of course.
garbage in the playoffs, though?
Yeah, Kershaw has got hit around in the playoffs, but that does not mean I want to face him.
Right. Let's go, Buccos. One more time.
But you're not going to the game now, right? You were thinking about going to the game. My boy Anthony is going to be there. All these pictures you look at, that's my boy Anthony. He's going to be at the game.
Live and direct.
We need a picture of the silhouette of the city for one of our fans. They were asking in one of our Steelers groups.
Oh, they want the silhouette that's our...
They just want a nice silhouette of the city of Pittsburgh, so we need to find a nice one. See if Anthony has one for us.
All right.
But that's it. Is that anything else? Anything else you guys want to add?
Nope.
The last
Buccos.
happy point of the Pirate season for you, and when they lose, it'll be sad again.
No.
One Twitter on Arrieta's page said something like, "Hey, what time's your tea time Thursday?" Yes.
Well, that's it, fans. You want to hit us up on Twitter, bet_the_spread. Hit me up on Twitter, betjimthewin. Check out the Facebook page at facebook.com/betthespread. Keep coming back to YouTube and click and subscribe. For your 2 sakes, I hope the Pirates win, but I just don't see it happening.
Well, you're dumb.